red corner. And from the United Kingdom, it's the Hooligan, Mellor!
They call him the Hooligan. Much of his early work was done in pub fights. That's what we're led to believe anyway. Nick Mellor, 1m88. We've seen him in martial combat before. So if you think he has a familiar face, then you're right. Up against a Taiwanese fighter, Victor Wang today. Big guys. Heavy punches, heavy kicking. Perhaps the most likely of all our contests this evening to see a quick finish, although you could possibly expect that from the championship fight as well, with Joe Ray involved. But let's focus on this contest, as indeed Nick Mellor seems to be up for it, I would suggest. What do you think, Ray?
Well, I would say after his disappointing at his last performance, he was just a little bit too gun-shy, so to speak, by letting the right and the left hands fly. So with this fight, I would expect for him to look to get off early, get off often, and dictate the pace of the fight. Obviously training out of Ole Larson's gym in Legacy there in Ubon, Thailand. He's very experienced with the striking, and I think he's got all the tools necessary to make this exciting.
This contest is scheduled for 3 rounds of 5 minutes each. And the referee for this fight, Mr. Shaw. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's time for combat! Fighting out of the blue corner, this man stands at 189 centimeters tall and weighs in at 85.3 kilograms. He has a professional MMA record of 1 win and no losses. Representing tough MMA from Taiwan, it's Victor, the Dragon of Taiwan, Wang!
He really looks as if he's enjoying it.
Fighting out of the red corner, this man is a returning fighter to martial combat, and he's simply known as the Hooligan. Standing at 188 centimeters tall and weighing in at 86.9 kilograms, he has a professional MMA record of 1 win and 2 losses. Representing the respected Legacy Gym and hailing from the United Kingdom, it's Nick the Hooligan, Mellor!
A chance for Nick Mellor to redeem himself after his disappointing outing in an earlier edition of Martial Combat, up against a man who really does seem as if he's going to enjoy the next few minutes. He's got a great big black gum shield in his mouth, but behind that there's a constant grinning going on. He's staring across the ring at his opponent as we get an even more enticing view.
Nick being such a well-trained fighter, I don't think that the stare and the looks are really going to intimidate him. I mean, when it really gets down to it, you're getting punched, you're getting kicked. There's not a whole lot of looks going to do as far as striking fear into a fighter. So I'll be curious to see how this starts off.
Agreed, Ray, but it does seem that Victor Wang is here to enjoy himself. There's no question about that. He looks as if he's really up for it. Look at that stance, a solid stance from Mellor.
Nick
and
trying to start fast.
Well, there's no holding back, is there? Straight in, these two.
Straight into the takedown, but he's unable to control the hips. He looks like he's got the guillotine locked in here. He's looking for that choke. Victor Wang's pushing him up against the fence, trying to alleviate some of that pressure against his throat here.
Officially, Wang is the taller man.
Nick needs to look to take the back here. There's no whizzer that's stopping him from just rotating to the back. He's got a good body lock here, so he can either look for the takedown or he can try to rotate himself. Right now he's just driving himself in, and he ate a good knee for his efforts there.
Yeah, knees to the rib cage from Wang, with his opponent pressing him against this cage. It's a taut cage. You were up in there earlier in the evening. It seems to be a little bit tighter than it was on previous evenings here.
Good takedown here by Nick, but straight into the full guard of Victor Wang. Victor here is working the triangle. He's trying to isolate that left arm there, and if he can bring his foot in between there, he can go triangle. Now what he's trying to do is he's trying to lock his right leg into his knee. What Nick needs to do is he needs to posture, back up, head straight, as if he was praying to God, you know? He needs to get his back up and his head up. Right now, he's just kind of leaning in, and that's making it easier for this to get locked in. As you see Victor reaching up, he's trying to lock that foot in. That right foot, he's trying to lock all the way into his left knee. Right now, Nick's doing a good job of jamming him into the fence and trying to prevent him from locking it in. He's trying to turn to pass. If Nick can pull his right arm out, he will have passed the guard, sorry.
It's a nullifying situation though, isn't it? It doesn't seem as if he could do much until he just got that release.
Good job.
Elbows to the midriff.
Victor's working with that left arm underhook, and he's going to try to turn onto his side, turn onto his hip. What Nick needs to do is Nick needs to use that right arm to get into his armpit there. That'll help him control position with 10 seconds left in the round.
Big men spending a lot of time on the ground.
A lot of energy being used here by both fighters. Good crossface being used by Nick, working himself back up using the fence. Victor trying to get one last takedown to help with the scoring for this round here. Good underhooks.
Oh, and right across the ring. It was always going to be the situation that Wang would end up on his back.
Nick driving to the mount. Left, right, pushing the face down, creating the posture. Victor reversing him really just off of brute strength here. Good job. Now you see Nick overhooking that left arm. He's trying to work that same triangle attempt that we just saw Victor utilize. Victor doing a good job of keeping both arms in or both arms out. That's how you prevent that triangle from even being attempted. A good shot there of Ole Larson, Martial Combat Super Fight Champion, K1 veteran.
Yeah, we've seen him here before. Look forward to seeing him again as well. But for the time being, it's Taiwan against the United Kingdom. Much of this opening round been spent locked in each other's grip.
Good stand-up here by UFC referee John Sharp. Basically, both fighters weren't giving the crowd what they paid to see, and so he wants to stand them up for a lack of action.
Yeah, he likes to do that, this John.
Good inside leg kick by the hooligan.
A right hand from the hooligan as well, which was a glancing blow, but his punches are going to be heavy. He's a big guy. You don't want to get a glancing blow or a full blow from that fella.
Driving him into the fence. Victor's doing a good job of keeping Nick's head off of his body. And as soon as I say that, he gives up the position of fighting the head, and Nick's right into that double leg, already into side control. Good takedown here. If Nick can just continue to drive Victor away from the fence, he will have achieved the position.
6 punches coming down on Nick Mellor's head.
What I'd like to see Victor do is I'd like to see him try to use the fence and get up. Use the fence, utilize the fence.
Returning punches now from Nick Mellor. Hard to see if they made much contact.
Nick transitioning to the back. He's got one hook, the other hook. Now he's fighting for that rear naked choke. I don't know if he's got enough time left to get it in the round, but it looks fairly deep here. The tap may be coming. It's on the chin, but it's a face choke here. 10 seconds left.
Not quite on the throat, is it? No.
Victor looks as if he's going to survive the round here. Good effort by both fighters.
Yeah, looks as if by tucking his chin down there, he didn't allow the arm to get along the throat, and therefore that rear naked chokehold couldn't be executed as fully as he would have liked. Round 1 in the books. Who would you have given it to, Ray?
Good round of action. I think just off of the aggression, I would have to give the round to Nick. Obviously, he started off with the flurry. He got the takedown, maintained side control. But by no means is that an easy round to score. Victor had a good triangle attempt. Victor reversed them. Victor landed his own good shots on the feet as we're seeing here. So it's a close round. I would have the round just based off of aggression going to the hooligan.
Yeah, there was a good flurry there from Victor Wang, one that I'd overlooked as we saw it live. And as you say, really quite difficult round to score there. We'll be told if this one goes the distance, and the judges give us their scores. But this one's still anyone's contest. 5-minute rounds, a real test of these fighters' stamina. Just 2-minute rests, or a rest of 2 minutes in total is what I'm trying to say, in the entire 15-minute contest. Extremely draining. John Shah just making sure that the gate is closed. We don't want either of these fighters falling out of the ring.
Both of these fighters look a bit fatigued, breathing with their mouths open, heavy, deep breaths.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of that comes to just having to dictate so much weight, you know, maintaining control and keeping it down. And so you burn a lot of energy. It's not like a boxing round where I only have to focus on my striking.
Yeah.
Here I'm having to work on my wrestling. I'm having to work on my submission defense. I'm having to work on my striking. Truly a mixed martial arts, and needing to be so well-rounded is really what the cause is for this.
Well, it's the whole effort of trying to secure your opponent down and at the same time having his body weight pressing against you. It really is a draining time.
Looks like the cage door is finally secure. I'm sure neither one of these fighters are complaining about the extra break.